one of the greatest white-tail bucks to ever be harvested with a bow, the Mel Johnson buck. On the evening of October 29th, 1965, just 20 minutes from downtown Peoria, Illinois, bow hunter Mel Johnson slipped into the edge of a soybean field and made history. With a homemade ground blind tucked along the woodlot edge and the wind in his face, Johnson was hunting a deer he had seen previously, but had yet to close the distance. At about 300 yards, the massive buck emerged from the timber, cautiously moving along the field's edge. Johnson watched as the white tail paused, swung its head, and slowly closed the gap. "My heart almost stopped," Johnson later recalled, when the deer paused about 10 to 20 yards in front of him. Realizing the deer was moving directly in front of his blind, Johnson rose, drew his 72-pound Howard recurve bow, and released his arrow. The shaft sliced through the deer's lungs, and the buck bounded across the field, disappeared briefly over a rise, then lay down a few moments later. The field-dressed weight of the animal was 270 pounds and estimated to be about 340 pounds on the hoof. Deer and deer hunting. What followed was one of the most remarkable trophy white-tail measurements ever recorded. The buck carried a 13-point rack with main beam lengths of 27 and 5/8 inches on the right and 26 and 6/8 inches on the left, an inside spread of 23 and 5/8 inches, and massive circumferences on the right H1. First main beam circumference, 6 1/8 inches, left 6 2/8 inches. 3 tines exceeded 12 inches in length, and 2 more exceeded 10 inches. After initial measurement errors left the score lower than expected, a panel of judges from the Boone and Crockett Club corrected the omission of a circumference measurement and gave a final net typical score of 204.48 inches. With that score, Johnson's buck became the world's record for a typical white-tail taken with a bow, recognized by the Pope and Young Club, and the only big game animal ever honored with both the Boone and Crockett Club's Sagamore Hill Award and Pope and Young's Ishii Award. In discussing that moment in the field, Johnson said simply, "It was just luck. That's what it amounts to. I guess the whole thing is being able to hold your composure when you get such an opportunity." BOWHUNTER.com. Today, more than half a century later, the Beanfield buck stands as an icon of archery hunting achievement, a testament to patience, fieldcraft, timing, and discipline in front of a giant animal. The record endures and the story continues to inspire.